Think about something that ruined your week a year ago. Try to actually remember it. The exact argument, the exact mistake, the exact thing that felt at the time like it mattered more than almost anything else in your life. Can you even fully recall it? And if you can, does it still carry the same weight it did back then? For almost everyone, the answer is no. And that single fact is the doorway into everything we're about to talk about today. Nothing matters nearly as much as it feels like it does in the moment. Not your worst mistake, not your most embarrassing moment, not the argument that felt like the end of the world, not even most of what you're currently losing sleep over right now, tonight. This isn't nihilism. This isn't telling you life is meaningless. It's the opposite. It's one of the most freeing realizations a person can ever fully absorb. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why and exactly how to actually live it, not just intellectually agree with it. Let's start with the truth. Your brain was never built to accurately judge what actually matters. It was built to survive, and survival required treating almost everything as a potential threat, immediately, urgently, without waiting to gather full context. This kept your ancestors alive, facing genuine physical danger. It serves you far worse today, when the mammoth threats are usually a critical email, a social awkward moment, or a mistake at work that feels catastrophic in the moment and forgettable within a year. This is called negativity bias, and it means your mind is wired to overweight anything that feels threatening, embarrassing, or uncertain, treating it as far more significant and urgent than it usually actually is. Let's talk about what this actually looks like in daily life, because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. Someone doesn't respond to your message quickly, and within minutes, your mind has built an entire narrative. They're upset with you. You said something wrong. The relationship is in trouble. None of this is based on actual information. It's your threat detection system filling in gaps with worst-case assumptions, treating uncertainty as danger. You make a small mistake at work and your mind immediately catastrophizes it. Everyone noticed. Your reputation is damaged. This could affect your entire career. In reality, most people are far too preoccupied with their own worries to remember your minor mistake even a week later, let alone build a lasting judgment of you around it. This is the pattern. Your mind consistently overestimates the significance, permanence, and observability of nearly everything that happens to you. Let's talk about where this idea comes from philosophically, because it's ancient, tested, and far from a modern self-help gimmick. The Stoics built an entire practical system around a single central distinction. Some things are within your control. Almost everything else is not. And treating things outside your control as if they carry the same weight as things within your control is the root of almost all unnecessary suffering. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher born into slavery, who eventually became one of the most influential teachers of his time, taught that events themselves are neutral. It is our judgment about those events that create suffering, not the events themselves. Two people can experience the exact same setback, and one will be devastated for months, while the other processes it and moves forward within days. The difference isn't the event, it's the meaning and weight assigned to it internally. This isn't about pretending difficult things don't happen or suppressing genuine emotion. It's about recognizing that the intensity of your reaction is often far more within your control than it feels like in the moment, and that most things you're currently treating as catastrophic will, with time and perspective, reveal themselves to be far smaller than they currently feel. Let's talk about money and financial status specifically, because this is one of the areas where this distortion runs deepest. So much of modern life is built around chasing more. A better job title, a bigger paycheck, visible symbols of success. And there is nothing wrong with wanting financial security or professional growth. But somewhere along the way, many people start treating their net worth, their job title, their possessions, as a direct measure of their actual worth as a person. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Almost none of it will matter in any lasting sense the way it feels like it should right now. Not because money doesn't matter at all, it provides real security and real options, but because the specific number in your bank account, the specific title on your business card, the specific brand of car you drive, none of it carries the deep, permanent significance your mind currently assigns to it. People on their deathbeds, across countless documented accounts, almost never talk about wishing they'd earned more money or achieved a higher title. They talk about relationships, time not spent with people they loved, fear they let control too many of their choices. The things that felt so urgent and important along the way rarely make the final list of what actually mattered. Let's talk about other people's opinions of you, because this might be the single biggest source of unnecessary weight most people carry every single day. You will never fully control what other people think of you. No matter how carefully you behave, how much you try to manage your image, some people will misunderstand you, judge you unfairly, or simply not like you, for reasons that often have far more to do with them than with you. And yet, an enormous amount of daily anxiety comes from trying desperately to control this uncontrollable thing. What will they think? How will this look? Will they judge me for this? This constant, exhausting management of other people's perception is one of the heaviest, most unnecessary burdens a person can carry, precisely because it's chasing something that was never actually within your control to fully secure. Let's talk about mistakes and failures specifically, because this is where the exaggerated weight of things becomes most painfully obvious in hindsight. Think about a mistake you made 5 years ago that felt devastating at the time. A failed relationship, a missed opportunity, an embarrassing moment in front of people whose opinion mattered deeply to you back then. How much space does that mistake actually occupy in your life today? For almost everyone, the honest answer is very little, if any at all. The mistake that once felt like it might define you, that kept you up at night, that felt permanently damaging, usually fades into something you barely think about, sometimes even something you can laugh about given enough time and distance. This pattern repeats endlessly throughout life. Whatever feels catastrophic right now will, with near certainty, feel far smaller in 5 years. This isn't wishful thinking. It's simply the consistent, observable pattern of how time and perspective actually work for nearly everyone, in nearly every situation. Understanding this doesn't mean dismissing genuine pain or genuine consequences. Some mistakes do have real, lasting effects that deserve serious attention and repair. But even those situations are rarely as permanently, totally catastrophic as they feel in the initial moment of crisis. The emotional intensity of the moment is not an accurate measure of the actual long-term significance of the event. Let's talk about a specific mental exercise the ancient Stoics used, and modern psychology has since validated as genuinely effective, called the view from above. Imagine for a moment rising above your current situation, not just above the room you're in, but above your city, your country, eventually above the entire planet, viewing Earth as a small, distant sphere suspended in an almost incomprehensibly vast universe. From that vantage point, consider the thing that's currently consuming your anxiety, your stress, your sleepless nights. How significant does it actually look from that distance? This isn't meant to make you feel insignificant or your problems unimportant. It's meant to restore accurate proportion to things that your immediate close-up perspective has almost certainly exaggerated. Marcus Aurelius used this exact practice regularly, reminding himself of the vastness of time and space, specifically to combat the tendency of the human mind to treat immediate, personal concerns as if they carried universal, permanent significance. He wasn't dismissing his responsibilities as an emperor. He was maintaining accurate perspective on how much weight any single event, however stressful in the moment, actually deserved in the larger context of an entire life, let alone the entire span of human history. Let's talk about how this perspective actually changes daily behavior. In practical terms, once it's genuinely absorbed rather than just intellectually understood. People who have genuinely internalized this idea tend to take more risks, not fewer, because the fear of failure, of embarrassment, of things not working out, no longer carries the same paralyzing weight it once did. If most outcomes don't matter nearly as much as they feel like they will in the moment, the cost of trying something and failing shrinks significantly, freeing up far more willingness to actually attempt meaningful things. They also tend to forgive more easily, both themselves and others, because holding on to resentment or self-criticism over something that, realistically, will barely register in a few years starts to feel like an obvious waste of limited time and energy. They tend to argue less over things that don't actually matter, because the internal cost-benefit calculation shifts. Is this disagreement, this need to be right, this defense of my position actually worth the energy, given how little most of it will matter in the long run? Often the honest answer becomes no, and the argument simply isn't worth having. Let's talk about something crucial that needs to be addressed directly, because this idea can easily be misunderstood if it's taken too far in the wrong direction. This is not an excuse for nihilism, apathy, or giving up on things that genuinely deserve your care and effort. Relationships matter. Your health matters. How you treat people matters. Doing meaningful work matters. The realization here is not that literally nothing has value. It's that your mind consistently, automatically inflates the significance of things that don't actually deserve that much weight, while sometimes underweighting the things that genuinely do matter, like presence with people you love, or your own long-term well-being. The goal isn't to care about nothing. The goal is to care intensely about the small number of things that genuinely deserve that intensity, while releasing the enormous, unnecessary weight currently being spent on things that don't. Let's talk about death specifically, because this is where this entire idea becomes most powerful, and also most commonly misunderstood as something morbid rather than something genuinely liberating. The Stoics practiced something called memento mori, a Latin phrase meaning remember that you will die. This wasn't meant to be depressing or morbid. It was meant to be clarifying. When you genuinely hold the awareness that your time is limited, and that everyone you know, everyone you've ever met, will eventually die as well, it becomes far easier to see which things actually deserve your limited time and energy, and which things are simply noise, urgent feeling but ultimately insignificant, distractions from what actually matters. Most people live as if they have unlimited time, unconsciously treating every minor irritation, every social awkwardness, every small failure, as if it deserves significant emotional investment. Holding the awareness of mortality, not with fear but with clarity, tends to strip away this exaggerated weight, revealing what actually deserves your attention far more clearly. Let's talk about a specific, common example that illustrates this entire principle clearly. Social media comparison. You see someone's curated highlight, a vacation, an achievement, a relationship milestone, and immediately your mind assigns enormous weight to the comparison. Am I behind? Am I not doing enough? Why doesn't my life look like this? Here's the accurate perspective, the one your immediate, reactive mind almost never accesses in the moment. That single post represents a tiny, selectively chosen fragment of someone else's entire, complicated life. It carries almost none of the weight your mind is currently assigning to it. In a year, you likely won't even remember scrolling past it. And yet, in the moment, it can genuinely affect your mood, your self-worth, your entire day, entirely disproportionate to its actual significance. This same pattern applies to nearly every source of daily anxiety. The traffic that made you late, the comment someone made that stung, the uncertainty about a decision you haven't made yet. In the moment, each of these can feel enormous. In the accurate, zoomed-out view, almost none of them will matter, even a few weeks from now, let alone years. Let's talk about how to actually practice this, because understanding it intellectually is only the first step. Living it requires deliberate, repeated practice. The first practice: when something feels catastrophic, ask yourself a simple, specific question. Will this matter in 5 years? Not, is this uncomfortable right now? Not, does this feel significant in this exact moment? Specifically 5 years from now, will this event, this mistake, this argument actually occupy any meaningful space in your life? For the overwhelming majority of daily stressors, the honest answer is no. And simply asking this question repeatedly starts training your mind to access accurate perspective more quickly, rather than defaulting immediately to catastrophic weight. The second practice: practice the view from above deliberately, especially during moments of high stress. When something feels overwhelming, take a moment to mentally zoom out, above your immediate situation, above your city, above the planet. Let yourself genuinely feel the vastness of the actual context. Your current stress exists within. This isn't meant to dismiss the stress entirely, but to restore accurate proportion to it. The third practice: regularly reflect on past events that once felt catastrophic and notice how little weight they carry now. Keep a simple, ongoing awareness of this pattern. The argument last year that felt like the end of a friendship, the mistake at work that felt career-ending. Actively noticing how these past catastrophes have shrunk with time trains your mind to trust that current catastrophes will likely follow the exact same pattern. The fourth practice: distinguish deliberately between what's actually within your control and what isn't. Before investing significant emotional energy into something, ask yourself honestly, is this something I can actually influence? Or am I spending energy trying to control an outcome, an opinion, or an event that was never actually within my power to control in the first place? Redirecting energy away from the uncontrollable and toward the small, actual sphere of things you can influence is one of the most practically freeing shifts available to anyone. The fifth practice: regularly connect with genuine mortality awareness, not with fear, but with clarity. This doesn't require anything dramatic. Simply, periodically, allowing yourself to genuinely sit with the awareness that your time, and everyone else's, is limited. Let this awareness clarify rather than terrify, helping strip away the exaggerated weight currently attached to things that, in the full context of a finite life, simply don't deserve that much space. Let's talk about something important, because this entire idea can be twisted into something unhealthy if applied incorrectly. This is not permission to stop caring about your responsibilities, your relationships, or your own growth. It's not an excuse for avoidance or for telling yourself nothing matters as a way of escaping accountability for things that genuinely do require your attention and effort. The goal is accurate weighting, not zero weighting. Some things do matter significantly. Your health, your closest relationships, your integrity, how you treat the people around you. your long-term well-being? The realization here is specifically about the enormous number of things that feel urgent and heavy in the moment, but don't actually deserve that weight once examined honestly. Let's talk about a way to think about all of this that might help you hold on to it clearly. Imagine your emotional energy as a finite resource, similar to a battery with limited charge each day. Every time you assign heavy significance to something, an argument, a mistake, someone's opinion, a comparison, you're spending charge from that battery. Spend it carelessly on things that don't actually deserve the weight, and you'll have little left for the things that genuinely do matter. Presence with people you love, meaningful work, your own peace of mind, learning to accurately assess what deserves your emotional charge and what doesn't isn't about caring less about life. It's about finally having enough energy left over to care deeply about the small number of things that actually deserve it. Let's talk about how this principle specifically applies to fear of judgment, since it's one of the most common, exhausting sources of unnecessary weight people carry every day. Consider how much of your daily behavior, your choices, your words, even your silence, is shaped by anticipating how other people might judge you. What you wear, what you post, what you say in a meeting, how you respond to a text message. An enormous amount of mental energy goes into managing an audience that, in reality, is far less focused on you than your anxious mind assumes. Here's an accurate, well-documented psychological phenomenon called the spotlight effect. People consistently overestimate how much others notice and remember their actions, appearance, and mistakes. In reality, most people are far too preoccupied with their own concerns, their own anxieties, their own spotlight effect, to spend nearly as much time thinking about you as you assume they do. This means an enormous portion of the social anxiety, the careful image management, the fear of judgment that shapes so many daily decisions is being spent defending against scrutiny that, realistically, barely exists in the first place. Understanding this doesn't eliminate all social anxiety instantly, but it does provide accurate perspective that can gradually loosen its grip. Let's talk about ambition and achievement specifically, because this is an area where this principle requires careful, honest examination. There's nothing wrong with ambition, with wanting to build something meaningful, achieve significant goals, or create real impact. But it's worth examining honestly. Which part of that ambition is driven by genuine values and purpose, and which part is driven by an exaggerated belief that achievement itself will finally provide the permanent significance and validation your mind is chasing? Many people spend years, sometimes decades, chasing achievements they believe will finally make them feel like they matter, only to reach that achievement and discover the feeling of significance was temporary, quickly replaced by the next goal, the next achievement to chase. This isn't an argument against ambition. It's an argument for examining honestly whether your ambition is rooted in genuine purpose or in an attempt to outrun the exaggerated weight your mind has assigned to feeling insignificant without constant achievement. Let's talk about relationships specifically because, ironically, this is often the area where people get the weighting backwards most severely. Many people spend enormous energy on things that ultimately don't matter much. Career status, minor social comparisons, small mistakes, while underinvesting energy in the relationships that research consistently shows matter most to long-term well-being and life satisfaction. Time with people you love, genuine presence rather than distracted, half-attentive interaction, vulnerability and honest connection rather than performance and image management. If you're going to redirect the energy currently spent on things that don't actually matter as much as they feel like they do, this is where a significant portion of that redirected energy deserves to go. not into achieving more, proving more, or managing more perception, but into genuine present connection with the people who actually matter to you. Let's talk about regret specifically, because this is where the accurate weighting of things becomes most clear in hindsight, often too late for many people. Extensive research on end-of-life regret consistently reveals the same patterns. People rarely regret not achieving more, not earning more, not accumulating more status or possessions. They regret not spending enough time with people they loved. They regret letting fear of judgment prevent them from living authentically. They regret working so much they missed meaningful moments that can never be recovered. This isn't speculation. It's a consistent, well-documented pattern across countless accounts from people facing the end of their lives, looking back with the clarity that often only comes when time has fully run out. The things that felt urgent, heavy, and significant throughout most of their lives, career pressures, financial anxieties, social comparisons, rarely make the final list of what actually mattered. You don't have to wait until the end of your life to access this clarity. The entire purpose of everything we've discussed today is to access this same accurate perspective now, while there's still time to actually redirect your energy toward what genuinely matters, instead of continuing to spend it on things that, with near certainty, won't. Let's talk about how this shifts your relationship with failure specifically, because this might be one of the most practically useful applications of everything we've covered. If most outcomes genuinely don't carry the permanent, catastrophic weight your mind assigns to them in the moment, the actual cost of trying something and failing shrinks dramatically. This isn't about becoming reckless or ignoring genuine risk. It's about recognizing that the fear of failure is often based on a wildly inflated estimate of how much any single failure will actually matter long-term. People who've genuinely internalized this tend to take more meaningful risks, start businesses, pursue creative work, have difficult but necessary conversations, precisely because the exaggerated fear of catastrophic, permanent failure has been replaced with an accurate understanding that most failures, even significant ones, tend to matter far less in 5 years than they feel like they will in the moment of facing them. Let's talk about how all of this connects back to daily peace of mind, because that's ultimately what this entire principle is building toward. A mind that consistently, accurately weighs what actually matters and what doesn't, experiences dramatically less unnecessary suffering than a mind that treats everything, every comparison, every mistake, every uncertain outcome as equally significant and threatening. This isn't about caring less about life, it's about finally having an accurate map of where your care and energy actually belongs, rather than spending it indiscriminately on everything that simply feels urgent in the moment. Now let's talk about what to actually do with all of this, practically, starting today. First, the next time something feels catastrophic, ask yourself directly, will this matter in 5 years? Let the honest answer, which is almost always no, actually inform how much energy you allow yourself to spend on it. Second, practice the view from above during moments of high stress. Zoom out deliberately above your immediate situation, above your city, above the planet, and let yourself genuinely feel the accurate proportion of your current stress within that much larger context. Third, notice, honestly, where you're spending disproportionate energy managing other people's opinions of you, and consciously redirect even a small portion of that energy towards something that actually matters, a relationship, your own well-being, meaningful work. Fourth, Reflect on past events that once felt catastrophic and notice specifically how little weight they carry now. Let this pattern build trust that current catastrophes will very likely follow the same trajectory. Fifth, redirect energy currently spent on comparison, achievement chasing, or image management toward genuine presence with the people who actually matter most in your life. This is where the accurate weighting ultimately needs to land. Let's talk about something important before we finish. This realization that nothing matters nearly as much as it feels like it does is not meant to make your life feel smaller or less significant. It's meant to do the opposite. When you stop spending enormous amounts of energy on things that don't actually deserve that weight, endless comparison, fear of judgment, catastrophic reactions to ordinary mistakes, you free up an enormous amount of energy for the small number of things that genuinely do matter. Relationships, presence, meaningful effort toward things you actually value, your own peace of mind. This isn't nihilism, it's accurate perspective, finally freeing you from a lifetime of treating nearly everything as equally urgent and significant, when in reality, only a small fraction of what consumes your daily energy actually deserves that weight. Let me leave you with this. The argument that felt unbearable last month will fade. The mistake that feels catastrophic right now will shrink with almost total certainty within a year, often much sooner. The comparison stealing your peace tonight will be forgotten by the time you scroll to the next post. None of this means your life doesn't matter. It means most of what your mind is currently treating as urgent, heavy, and significant simply isn't, not in any lasting sense. And once you genuinely absorb this, not just intellectually but through repeated practice and reflection, an enormous weight begins to lift, freeing up energy for the handful of things that actually deserve it. Your relationships matter, genuine presence matters, how you treat people matters, your own long-term well-being matters. Almost everything else, the anxiety about how you're perceived, the catastrophic reaction to ordinary mistakes, the endless comparison to other people's curated lives, matters far less than it currently feels like it does. You don't need to carry all of it. You were never actually required to. The weight you've been carrying was mostly assigned by a mind wired for ancient survival, not accurate modern judgment. You are allowed to set most of it down. If this resonated with you, you're not alone. So many people spend years carrying weight that, examined honestly, was never actually theirs to carry in the first place. If you're new here, this channel is called Withinism. We talk about things like this every week. The perspective nobody hands you clearly, and the honest, practical work of finally seeing your life with accurate proportion. If this video helped you, subscribe, not for me, for the version of you that's still carrying more weight than any of this genuinely deserves. And if someone comes to mind who's been treating something small like it's the end of the world, send this to them. Sometimes accurate perspective, offered gently, is exactly what someone needs to finally set something heavy down. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.